A medieval monastery at night was not chaotic or improvised. It was an ordered place shaped by rule, routine, and devotion. After sunset, the world became quieter, but not empty. Bells, prayer, footsteps, candles, and the low habits of communal life still gave the darkness structure. Time inside a monastery was often marked by bells. Even at night, sound could call the community back into attention. Bells did not merely announce the hour. They gave shape to life itself. In darkness, when sight narrowed and activity slowed, sound became even more important. Monastic buildings were not flooded with light after dark. Candles and lamps were used carefully, and their glow remained local and precious. A corridor might be dim, a chamber still darker, and a chapel lit only enough for prayer and safe movement. Night asked the building to become smaller. Many monastic buildings were made of stone, and stone held the cold. At night, passages and cloisters could feel austere, especially in winter. Warmth gathered only in particular places. The rest of the building remained still, shadowed, and disciplined by temperature as much as by rule. Not every monk slept in complete privacy. In some communities, shared dormitories were common. Beds or sleeping places might be simple and closely arranged. The night belonged to the group as much as to the individual. One person's movement, cough, or whispered prayer entered the experience of everyone nearby. For many monasteries, night was not only for sleeping. It was also for prayer. Waking for night offices meant rising from warmth into darkness and returning attention to devotion. However familiar the routine became, it still required discipline. Night prayer made darkness part of religious life, rather than merely the absence of day. Silence in a monastery was rarely just emptiness. It was often cultivated. Quiet could be practical, spiritual, and communal at once. The absence of ordinary chatter made small sounds more noticeable: cloth moving, benches shifting, sandals on stone, pages turning, wind around the walls. Some necessary tasks continued after sunset. Candles had to be maintained, fires watched, rooms checked, and practical needs met. But activity remained restrained. The point was not to extend the day endlessly. The monastery recognized limits, and night asked for a different pace. A chapel at night could feel different from the same space in daylight. The scale of the room changed under weak light. Stone disappeared into shadow. Voices carried differently. Familiar forms became more inward and more focused. Night reduced distraction and gave devotion a narrower, steadier frame. At night, the monastery also became more separate from the outside world. Fields, roads, markets, and village movement receded. What remained was the inner life of the house itself. Darkness sharpened the difference between the ordered enclosure and the uncertain world beyond it. Even rest was structured. Sleep happened within a pattern of devotion, duty, and shared discipline. A monk was not simply ending a day as an isolated individual. He was participating in a cycle larger than personal preference. The night belonged to the rule as much as the daylight did. What made monastic night distinctive was not perfect peace, but ordered calm. It was a quiet made of bells, breath, stone, candlelight, and repeated intention. To spend a night in such a place was to feel darkness guided rather than empty, and rest shaped by ritual rather than convenience.